Hey everyone. Today we're prowling through the mystical origins of a deity who's part protector, part kingmaker, and entirely unpredictable. Imagine a deity so ancient, so powerful, that even Wakanda's greatest warriors bow before her. A being who has shaped kings, tested heroes, and even outwitted the devil himself. This is Bast, the Panther goddess. But her story? Oh, it's far more than just myth. It's a battle of gods, kings, and destiny. Bast wasn't always a goddess. Long ago, she was mortal, one among many who ascended to divinity through worship. But she wasn't just any god. She was the child of Ra himself, inheriting the sun's life-giving warmth. Then came the moment that changed history. A meteorite, infused with a strange vibrating metal, what we now know as vibranium, crashed into the land of primitive tribes. Among them, a warrior named Olumo Bashenga. But this wasn't just a gift, it was a curse. The radiation twisted some into monstrous demon spirits, and Wakanda teetered on the brink of chaos. Desperate, Bashenga called out to the heavens, and Bast answered. She granted him the strength to stand against the horrors, making him the first Black Panther, the living avatar of the Panther goddess. From that day, Wakanda was never the same. Alongside gods like Thoth, Koko, Mujaji, Ta, and Nyami, Bast formed the Orisha, the Wakandan pantheon. Together, they battled the originators, beings who had ruled Wakanda before humans arrived. It was Bast and her divine allies who sealed them away, locking them behind ancient gates to protect humanity. But peace never lasts. As the pharaohs took control of Egypt, many gods left for celestial Heliopolis, a realm beyond mortal reach. Bast? She remained close, establishing her own divine domain, bordering both Heliopolis and Allah, the home of Africa's gods. But while her siblings inherited destruction, Bast was revered for her wisdom, her protection, and the promise she gave to those who followed her. And with worship came power. In the city of Bubastis, she was honored as the goddess of pleasure, music, and dance. A patron of protection, she watched over the people, shielding them from disease and evil spirits. When Pharaoh Shashank elevated Bubastis in 952 BC, her influence grew stronger than ever. Artifacts imbued with her power began to surface. The Claw of Bast, a relic of immense strength, was used to heal the sick and even resurrect the dead. But power in the wrong hands is dangerous. By 2500 BC, Pharaoh Khafre ordered it broken into fragments, fearing what it could do. And yet, it would not stay buried forever. Centuries later, Reed Richards, Francesca Fisher, and Victor Von Doom reassembled the Claw of Bast. But the artifact's power was unstable. After using it to defeat the Sphinx and heal a dying man, it crumbled into dust once more. Bast's gifts are not meant to be controlled by just anyone. And then came T'Challa. After the death of his father, T'Chaka, he had to prove himself worthy, not just as a king, but as Bast's chosen. He faced his uncle, Sion, in combat, won the trial, and consumed the heart-shaped herb, linking himself to the Panther god. But Bast is not just a symbol. She watches. She judges. She tested T'Challa again when he ignored the suffering of the people of Azania. She stripped him of his power, choosing another in his place. Only when he admitted his failure, when he truly saw the weight of his responsibility, did Bast return his strength. But her tests were not over. When Mephisto, the Lord of Lies, offered T'Challa a deal, his soul for the safety of Wakanda, he accepted. But it was a trick. Mephisto found himself dragged into Bast's realm, where he was overwhelmed by the spirits of those who had come before. Even the devil himself was no match for her. When T'Challa married Storm, Bast watched. Was this queen worthy of Wakanda? She tested her, judged her, and in the end, she approved. But her judgment is not always kind. When T'Challa fell, Shuri sought the mantle of Black Panther, and Bast she rejected her. Not for lack of skill, but because of her pride, her jealousy. Shuri was forced to grow, to learn, and only then did Bast grant her blessing. Even Doom, Wakanda's greatest enemy, dared to face the Panther goddess. He approached her, not with battle, but with logic. He showed her his vision of the world, a world ruled by him, but stable, safe. And Bast, she saw his crimes, his ambition, but also his purpose, and she let him take the vibranium. Then came the Chaos War, a war of gods shaking the very fabric of reality. And Bast stood alone against an army of demons from Yomi, holding the line while the God Squad fled. She did not survive, or so it seemed. For gods do not die so easily. Chala, no longer just a king, but the ruler of Necropolis, the city of the dead, stood before her once more. And Bast? She did not just grant him the title of Black Panther, she made him something more. A guardian of the dead, a protector of those who had passed beyond the veil. Now, let's talk Marvel Snap. In the collectible card game, Bast's ability is, on reveal, set the power of all cards in your hand to 3. We know that in the comics, Bast is far more than a flat reset. She's a deity who tests worthiness, empowering the worthy while stripping power from those who falter. This ability in-game seems to enforce a strict standard, but it misses the nuance of her divine trials. So what if we reimagined her Marvel Snap ability to reflect her true nature? Here's a proposal. On reveal, for each card in your hand, if its power is exactly 3, add +1 power. Otherwise, set its power to 3. This version still forces every card to meet her standard, yet rewards those already worthy with a bonus, much like Bast herself, who tests and then bestows power only to those who prove themselves. Thank you for taking this journey with me. Who do you want me to cover next? Let me know in the comments. Until next time.